Hey guys, what's going on? It's been a crazy few days. We've had a massive surprise, final stand in early access on CTE. It's been fantastic to be able to play the new maps in a very, very early build. And something I want to clarify straight away before we even get into today's video, and it's something that I think a lot of people haven't really grasped. This is alpha, okay? These are very early builds of the maps. You can tell that some of the particle effects are missing. There's quite a few bugs on the maps, and some things are broke, some things maybe aren't balanced. It is alpha, guys. The purpose of this test is to work those things out. We've been asking for early access to stuff, and they're giving it. So now they are giving it. Don't then complain that some things don't work right, because this isn't the final release. So far, I personally have played 3 of the maps. At the time of recording this video, the 4th map isn't out yet, but by the time this video goes live later tonight, the 4th map would have just gone live. I have played 3, and I've seen the 4th one on videos on YouTube. So far I've got a pretty good idea of what to expect from Final Stand, and I've got a good idea of what I feel from playing the maps. So as I've said, they are in alpha. However, the overall feel and look of the maps isn't going to change drastically. So far I played Operation Whiteout, which was good. I enjoyed it to a certain extent, and then Giants of Karelia, really didn't enjoy that at all. I just didn't gel with the map. Something that I've realized so far from these maps, they don't seem very infantry focused, which is fine. You can't expect all of the maps to be infantry focused. However, it felt like on Giants of Karelia that I just felt like I was running over hills as an infantry player, completely exposed, and I just didn't like the feel of that map. To me personally, it also felt very generic. Apart from the very cool walker base inside the mountain, other than that, I just didn't like the map at all. It just felt really generic. It felt like a map that I would literally just forget, and I did. I forgot about it. Operation Whiteout kind of stuck in my mind because I liked the aesthetics of that map. The 3rd map that I played yesterday was Hangar 21, and I have to say, so far, this is my favourite map of the bunch. And as I said, I haven't played the 4th one yet, Hammerhead. However, I have seen it on footage today. I saw Jack Fragg's video earlier, so I've seen how that map plays and what it looks like, and I don't think my opinion is going to change. I think Hangar 21 is going to be my personal favourite. The reason I think this one's better for me is because there's elements of the map that you can play as infantry only. It has a massive, massive hangar built into the mountain, and inside this hangar is where one of the very first Titan prototypes was built. Now, let me give you a bit of feedback from this. Basically, these maps are set around elements preceding 2142, the game. So, Giants of Karelia is a base essentially where the walkers were first tested and where they were built and prototyped. Hangar 21 is where the Titans were first built and prototyped, and I really, really like the way they've linked that in. I think that's fantastic. 2142 was an amazing game for me. It was one of my favourite Battlefield titles. I actually probably played that more than I played Battlefield 2. I loved that game. So the idea that some of this backstory is coming in is fantastic. Whether that leads to a 2142 game down the line, I don't know. But either way, it's really cool. So on Hangar 21, you head into this mountain area. There's this giant Titan in a massive hangar. And there's 2 flags in this section, A and B. And you fight over those. You can close the giant hangar doors. There's an amazing section of tunnels underneath. And the levolution effect on this map is that you can run up, hit a button, and the Titan like power cores light up, and the engine fires up, and these balls of fire go into the tunnel below and kill anything that's in there, and that's really cool. The rest of the map is situated pretty much at the bottom of the mountain, but what makes this different from other maps, and what I suppose makes it better for me, is that you don't have to just run up the mountain. You can jump into basically a pod. It's like a pod projectile. You hop into this machine. They're situated on the F flag, and what it essentially does is it throws you up the mountain in a pod, reminiscent of the pods that were in 2142. Now, they are a little bit bugged right now, so if you do you know, shoot yourself off in it, I would probably recommend in the CTE just escaping from them and using your parachute when you get close enough, because they are a little bit bugged, but of course that will be fixed in the final version. Overall, this map was my favourite. I had a lot of fun on this one. I think some things need to be tweaked in these maps overall. I found a lot of situations where there's a lot of massive hills where you can just fly over them in a snowmobile, you can fly over them in an ATV, and that's fantastic. The problem is they're so damn high, when you land your ATV or you land your snowmobile, it bloody blows up. I think some tweaking needs to be done to the either the ascent that you come down, so the steepness of some of the mountains maybe, or alternatively give it a little bit more leeway to how much impact like a snowmobile or an ATV can take when it hits the ground, to make those jumps a little bit cooler. There are of course a couple of new gadgets in the game as well. I'll talk first about the tank. There is a hover tank. You guys may have seen my video of hover tank gameplay. The hover tank needs some work right now. It's a little bit hard to control, and this is one of the things with an alpha. It's going to need some tweaking, so keep your feedback going and that will get tweaked. So that needs a lot of work. There was a stationary gun, the SC40, which is a prototype name apparently, just like a shotgun essentially, a mounted shotgun. That was completely bugged, completely and utterly bugged. It was one-shotting people. That's already been fixed, so that's a great thing to see. You've got the MKV as well, which is essentially, think of it like an MAV, but it flies up like an MAV, but it's got miniguns on it, and you can fly around minigunning people and things like that. It's quite cool. It does have a limited range though, so don't worry about it being too overpowered. And of course I couldn't not mention the Rorsch. It's a railgun. It's a battle pickup which has 8 projectiles, which you have to individually load, so it's one at a time. And it basically fires without any sort of bullet velocity drop whatsoever. So you can snipe someone, it does damage to vehicles. You have to then reload after every shot. And of course I couldn't not mention the Rorsch. Essentially it's a railgun. It has 8 bullets which you can fire, or projectiles which have to be individually loaded. And it has no velocity in terms of bullet drop. It has no bullet drop whatsoever, so you can just fire at people hundreds and hundreds of meters away. It just tells you when to fire, you fire, insta-kill. It also does damage to vehicles, and it's got quite a bit of splash damage as well. This, however, is not equipable. It is a battle pickup. There are no new weapons in this DLC, unless you believe the fact that there is a prototype weapon potentially related to the Phantom program. We're not sure, obviously, what the Phantom program is yet, but there will be some element of the Phantom program in this DLC, you can guarantee that. So what do I think about the DLC overall? Overall, it's not really my cup of tea. It's just too open for my style of play. Most of the maps I won't ever play again. I'll play Hangar 21, definitely. I will play a little bit later on tonight Hammerhead to give that one a go. Operation Whiteout I don't see me playing that much of, and Giants of Corellia I certainly won't play very much. As an infantry player and primarily infantry based, there are some maps that even though they're vehicle heavy, there are routes and there are battles that infantry players can take on. I feel as though on these maps though that isn't necessarily the case. I feel like the map structure doesn't necessarily work that well for infantry and vehicle play. And that's something I think that's been a problem with some of the maps released for Battlefield. There seems to be certain maps that are ridiculously open, which makes for great vehicle gameplay, but then there's no avenues for infantry to focus on when going between flags. Overall, I've enjoyed some of the elements of this DLC, and obviously it's in an early build, so I will definitely play it again when it's fully released, but I urge you guys to go check it out for yourself. It's still on for another day with the new map tonight, so go check it out if you've got the CTE, and have a look for yourself while it's still in early alpha. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and as always guys, I'll catch you on the next one.